Police reenact the August Tuen Mun murder case with the suspects after arresting 2 more men at a border checkpoint yesterday. At least 2 people died and 26 others were injured in a 60-vehicle accident on an icy highway in Japan. And Thailand and Cambodia signed truce to end weeks of deadly fighting. Good evening, you're watching Cable News. I'm Cheryl Yun. Police arrested 2 men at Shenzhen Bay Port in connection with the August murder case in Tuen Mun, bringing the total number of people detained to 27. The 2 men, aged 29 and 32, were detained yesterday. One of the suspects, hooded in black cloth with chains around his waist and handcuffs secured, was escorted to the scene by police in the afternoon for crime scene reconstruction. A 51-year-old man was found dead with head injuries under a footbridge on Yik Yun Road in Hong Shui Kiu on August 25th. Police had earlier arrested 21 men and 4 women. 11 have been charged with murder, conspiracy to murder, assisting offenders, or perverting the course of justice, while the remaining 14 are on bail pending further inquiries. On Japan's northernmost main island, Hokkaido, die-hard skiers were forced to cancel activities as some resorts were blanketed by heavy snow and blizzards. So far, the itineraries of 14 Hokkaido tour groups from Hong Kong remain unaffected. Evelyn Bai shares more.
At a ski resort in Niseko, Hokkaido, many skiers on the slopes were buffeted by winds so strong they could barely move, with snowboards blown over and cable cars swaying. Due to the blizzard, some Hong Kong skiers had to cancel activities.
Hong
Konger Peter So said he planned to go skiing at 1 p.m. on Friday, but all of the cable cars to the peak were closed. The weather outside was like a tornado, with strong winds and a lot of snow. This is the first time he has seen this, as he has been going there for ski holidays for over a decade. This morning, a cold snap continued to hit the area. So carried on with his skiing, but stayed extra alert, saying if the wind was too strong to stand, he would stop skiing. Travel agency EGL Tours said there are currently 14 groups from Hong Kong, about 400 travelers in Hokkaido, and their itineraries remain unaffected. Steve Hoon, executive director of EGL Tours, said all flights taking off and landing in Hokkaido are not affected. Road trips may be slower due to the heavy snow. Most standard sightseeing tours do not include skiing, so they will not be impacted. The local weather watchdog forecasts snowfall of up to 40 centimeters along the Sea of Japan coast by Sunday morning, and has urged people to be alert to blizzards and heavy snow. Evelyn Bai, Cable News.
Meanwhile, in Japan's central prefecture of Gunma, heavy snow caused a pile-up on an expressway involving some 60 vehicles, spawning a fiery blaze that left 2 people dead and 26 injured. Evelyn Bai again has the story.
Online footage showed vehicles caught fire after the chain collision, billowing thick smoke into the air. Explosions were heard. Some 60 vehicles were involved. About 20 of them were set ablaze. A heavy snow warning was in effect at the time, and it was reportedly snowing in Minakami, with the road covered by snow. The Gunma Prefectural Highway Police believe the slippery conditions may have been a factor and are investigating in detail. The crash happened on the Kan-Itsu Expressway in the town of Minakami on Friday evening. It started with a collision between 2 trucks on a straight section of road that follows a small bend. Vehicles behind, unable to brake in time on the icy road, crashed one after the other. Multiple fire trucks and ambulances were dispatched at the scene. But the intense blaze and icy road surface made the rescue even more complicated. The fire was brought under control after about 7.5 hours. 2 people were found dead in a car, one of them a 77-year-old woman from Tokyo. 5 of the injured were reported to be in serious condition. Parts of the expressway remained closed for police investigation, removal and cleaning of the wreckage. Due to the backlog, residents are advised to take detours to their destinations. Heavy snowfalls is predicted to hit areas along Japan's coast from western to northern regions. Japan's weather watchdog has warned of traffic disruption caused by snow accumulation, blizzards, strong winds, and high seas. Evelyn Bai, Cable News.
Thailand and Cambodia have reached a ceasefire agreement with an immediate halt to hostilities starting from noon local time, ending almost 3 weeks of intense clashes along their disputed border. Thai Defense Minister Natapon Nakpanet and Cambodian Defense Minister Tia Seha formally signed the agreement at a border checkpoint in Thailand's Chanthaburi province. Both sides announced the immediate ceasefire and committed to freezing current troop deployments with no further movements or attacks. The deal prohibits attacks on civilians, civilian objects, infrastructure, and military targets on either side, while allowing displaced residents along the border to return home as soon as possible. If the truce holds for 72 hours, Thailand will release 18 Cambodian soldiers detained since clashes started in July. The Thai side reiterated that the latest conflict began with fire from the Cambodian side, to which its forces responded in self-defense.
The 72-hour ceasefire beginning today is not an act of trust nor an unconditional acceptance, but a time frame to tangibly prove whether Cambodia can truly cease the use of weapons, provocations, and threats in the area.
The Cambodian side urged residents not to rush back home, warning that some areas remain dangerous due to unexploded ordnance, and called on people to follow authorities' instructions. The breakthrough came after several days of talks aimed at ending the worst violence between the two Southeast Asian neighbors in years. The weeks-long fighting has left more than 100 people dead on both sides and displaced over 500,000 residents. Back to Hong Kong, the new year will see a major overhaul of public hospital fees. While some charges will rise, the medical expenses waiver scheme will expand to include 1.1 million more residents. As of last week, the hospital authority had received over 50,000 fee waiver applications. Evelyn Bai reports.
Starting January 1st, patients will not be charged additional fees once the accumulated medical expenses have reached the $10,000 mark within 1 year. Eligible applicants can apply without financial assessments. Taking to the airwaves, Director of Cluster Services Wong Yu-chung said that the HA strongly opposes the improper use of medical resources. If a patient is deemed to be abusing the system or remaining in hospital without clinical need, DHA will suspend their cap eligibility. Meanwhile, public hospitals will charge patients triaged as urgent, semi-urgent, and non-urgent $400 for accident and emergency services, up from the current $180, while critical and emergency cases will be free. The authority will deploy more staff at the A&E department during the transition period on New Year's Eve. Priscilla Poon, the authority's chief manager of Allied Health, said they would take a relatively flexible approach on that day, so patients do not need to rush. If patients believe they have a medical need and must attend A&E on New Year's Eve, they should still go. Those who have been triaged but ultimately decide not to proceed with consultation may apply for a refund within 1 day. Hospitals will charge $50 to cover triage services and initial nursing care. Evelyn Bai, Cable News.
A health official said the 23 specialties introduced by the Chinese Medicine Hospital represent key areas where Chinese medicine has advantages. Looking forward, the newly commissioned hospital will focus on incorporating more services into primary health care in the future. The government earlier unveiled the city's first blueprint for Chinese medicine development, proposing to formulate a list of conditions for which Chinese medicine demonstrates distinct advantages. Speaking on iCable's program Let's Talk, Vincent Chong, Commissioner for Chinese Medicine Development, said the 23 specialties introduced when the Chinese Medicine Hospital was set up are precisely the city's initial advantageous conditions. We will keep reviewing our list of services, and it should grow more and more. We hope that in 3 to 6 years, we will have a relatively comprehensive list regarding primary health care, Chong said. Speaking on the same program, Hospital Chief Executive Bian Zhaoxiang said the Chinese medicine hospital's subsidized general outpatient appointments were fully booked for the first 2 months, with demand for certain specialties far exceeding expectations. The hospital is now seeing nearly 200 patients a day, covering both general and specialist consultations. The most common cases include pain management, insomnia, and stroke rehabilitation, Bian said. He added that the hospital has increased consultation quotas by 30% to meet demand. The 14th National People's Congress will open its 4th annual session in Beijing on March 5th next year. The Standing Committee of the NPC passed a resolution to convene the 4th session of the 14th NPC to review the government work report, drafts of the 15th Five-Year Plan outline, next year's National Economic and Social Development Plan, as well as the central and local budgets. Meanwhile, the Standing Committee has approved revisions to the foreign trade law, which will take effect on March 1st next year. Separately, the National Committee of the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference has recommended that its 4th session be held on March 4th next year. From coast to coast, Americans are facing wild weather swings, with torrential rains in the west, snow and freezing winds in the east. Forecasters warn that this latest round of storms is part of a volatile pattern likely to continue through the weekend. Bess Leung reports.
In Wrightwood, the worst-hit area in Southern California, the flood waters receded to reveal a scene of utter devastation. Many roads were washed away or subsided in the mountain town. Traces of flood scouring are visible everywhere, with numerous vehicles and dozens of homes lie buried beneath layers of silt. Excavators were deployed to clear the roads as mud and debris littered the landscape. While the evacuation advisory for the corresponding county has been lifted, post-disaster operations are underway to divert water flows, carry out emergency repairs to buildings, and put up temporary embankments. Fallen trees and downed power lines have left thousands without power. As conditions eased slightly, residents rushed to stock up on essentials, buying fire starters, waterproof tarps, and other supplies. The National Weather Service said this is the most powerful atmospheric river storm to hit Southern California in nearly 2 years. Although the rain bands are gradually weakening, the ground is already soaked and cannot absorb much more water. Officials warn that the risk of flash flooding and mudslides remains high, urging residents to stay indoors and avoid non-essential travel. Meanwhile, the East Coast is shivering under a deep freeze, with snow squalls blanketing major cities from Boston to New York. Visibility around the Statue of Liberty has dropped to near zero, with whiteout conditions sweeping across the area. New York and New Jersey have declared states of emergency, with snowfall in some areas expected to reach nearly 28 centimeters. In New York City, snowplows have been deployed to clear the streets as officials issue travel advisories. Hundreds of flights have been delayed or cancelled at New York's 3 major airports, as well as at Philadelphia International Airport. Bess Leung, Cable News.
On to the weather now. Mainly fine, and it will be cool tomorrow morning, dry during the day. Temperatures will range between 16 and 21 degrees. Moderate east to northeasterly winds. Now let's take a look at the weather around the world. And that's the news tonight. I'm Cheryl Yun. Thanks for watching and good night.